And welcome back to another episode of The Credit Authority. Once again, I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and I am so glad that you tuned in today. I hope you have been enjoying our program so far. And of course, before we start our segment, we always would like to take a minute to thank our sponsors. So thank you so much to Equity First. If you are experiencing credit and or financial challenges, feel free to reach out to any one of their trained professionals. They are bilingual nationwide, and they are waiting for you to give them a call. They can be reached at 631-714-4822. And of course, today we have in studio Janine Jaycox, and our first segment was speaking with her all about divorce mediation. And then we spoke all about business mediation. And now we still have Janine in studio, but we've brought along one of her power partners, which is attorney Alan Krystal. So Alan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Rhonda.
You know, you've been on the show before. It's been a while, so welcome back.
Great to be back.
But I think what's important that I'd like to now speak about is really creating the power team. You know, right now we are speaking about divorce and business mediation. And when I speak to Janine, whether it's in studio or, you know, out of the studio in reference to clients that together we collaborate on, I think it's important for people to realize that one person doesn't make all the difference, right? We always want to say, I'm a rock star. My expression is, I'm a gem. Right? Like anybody who, like, that's my thing lately. I go, oh, me? I'm a gem. But
you are.
But I am. But I'm only as good as the people that I surround myself with. So with building a solid power team, I think is so important. So let's talk for a minute about how, Alan, you and Janine work together and how that collaboration works.
Okay, well, first of all, let me start by saying that it's your fault.
It's always my fault.
Yes, it's your fault because you invited me to a networking event that you were involved with, and I met Janine there. And she introduced herself as a mediator. And mediation is something that I was always interested in pursuing. It was something that I got training on when I had some extra time during the pandemic. And, you know, we had a nice conversation at the event. And finally, we got to follow up with each other, and we found that we had a good personal chemistry between us, and that, you know, she was very good and very adept at mediation. I have a business law practice. I have exposure through mediation as a litigator, but, you know, I'm just getting my feet wet in the mediation process, and Janine had a whole wealth of knowledge, and it just seemed like after the first couple of meetings, we clicked very well.
Well, it's kind of hard to not get along with you. But put that aside from the personal perspective, when we're speaking about the business, how different is it for you working on the mediation side as a lawyer?
It's a challenge, and I will tell you why. It's almost a different type of thinking. It is more an understanding of human emotions and human nature. Basically, my experience as a lawyer and doing arbitrations is these are the facts of the case, this is the law, apply to the law to the facts of the case, make a determination. When I was doing mediation training, there were a number of judges and retired judges in my course. And it was a very big transition for them to go through that process because they had to almost think in a different way when they were approaching mediation. So mediation is really more understanding what's behind the curtain and what the motivations are as to why this conflict might exist. And I think you need to get an understanding of those emotions to get to a solution. That's something you don't find in litigation. That's not something you find in legal negotiations. It's pretty cut and dry. This is more human focused.
Well, what happens with law a lot of times is it's viewed as very black and white. And when we're talking about mediation, again, you're hitting it on the head. It's that whole emotional element. Somebody doesn't go into business to fail. Somebody doesn't bring on a partner for it to, have a conflict. People don't get married to get divorced. At least I don't think they do, right? They don't get married to get divorced. So unfortunately, in the industry, I feel like you get stuck with the ugly, right? It's always you're there to have a resolution that is peaceful, but you're not the first thought. You are generally the last thought.
What happens is most of the time, like Alan said, mediation and a mediator compared to an attorney, it is a completely different mindset. Alan's done really great. The reason why our partnership works so well is I have a lot of matrimonial background. Alan is an attorney and an arbitrator. And I think that both of us blended well because we have a lot of respect for each other's knowledge. And when you have a partner and you're in a mediation, you're doing mediation as your business, you have to apply it to your own business as well. I think we both really focus on running our business smoothly, compassionately, and yet completely giving the education to our clients that they need. Whether it's divorce or business, we have to educate them because it's a scary feeling. If you are getting divorced, it's the unknowns and it's the horror stories that you've heard all over the place that are really not main events that are as bad as they seem. In a business, you're looking at your livelihood, which then enrolls into your financial side, comes your family, your future. Like finances are a monumental thing to have struggling. So what we do is no matter what kind of mediation we're handling, we come from a non-sterile approach. Like Alan said, when you're litigating, it's black and white, it's very sterile, and it's very direct. In mediation, we give everybody the opportunity to express how they feel, get their thoughts, get their expectations in line. And what we do is we create an agreement that all parties involved walk away still being able to maintain some kind of relationship.
When you have a client that is toxic, we all have them. It's just part of business. We have that one client that you want to help and you just can't. Is there a time where you say, I need to tap out? This is not meant for me. Mediation is not where you should be. You're laughing. For those of you that are listening,
so sorry.
Janine is laughing. She's looking at me like, why would you even say that?
But the reason I'm laughing is Alan and I had a client recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just so to the core right now. The client that we had this issue with, we worked really well with. We actually did get them resolved. It took both of our personalities to make it happen. So yes, I think most companies have faced that, but it's really just about not giving up, putting it out there. And I'm not saying that everything's 100%. Like I said, mediation is just about 86 to 90% effective, which is a huge success rate, I have to say. But yeah, we've all had one of those clients when you're just like, why did I?
But I also think that, part of the skill in mediation is really try to get to the heart of the person and to the heart of the problem. And if you're dealing with somebody who's toxic, I think in a very diplomatic way, you've got to kind of approach why they feel the way they feel and try to impress upon them the idea that their pattern of behavior is a big part of the problem. And by failing to come to a resolution, their pattern of behavior is going to lead to worse consequences down the road. It's not an easy conversation to have. It's not always a successful conversation, but that's part and parcel of our job and what we need to do.
And the best part is that when we have clients that unfortunately make it more difficult to resolve things, because Alan and I will say men and women think differently. That's part of it. Also, mediator and attorney think very different. So between us, our collaboration works out so well, and we've been really lucky on getting the best results for our clients. Truly, we do this from the heart. Yes, it's our business, but I think the compassion we show to our clients and just understanding that this is real life for people, it makes a big difference.
And I think even, listening to the nature of your business, I'm going to describe it how I describe my business, which is problem solving, right? When somebody comes to my company for assistance and they're looking for consulting, it's because they're faced with a challenge. They are emotionally and or financially destroyed or on that path to destruction. And it's that victimology, right? It's having an understanding, like you're saying, of what can we do to problem solve? and mediation, I'm clearly not a mediator, but a big part of my business as well is problem solving for the client. And it sounds like whether you're going through a divorce and you're utilizing a mediator, or you are creating in the process of or dissolution of a business, it's still problem solving for whatever somebody is going through at that time.
Our biggest thing is that we encompass everything into our agreements. We don't leave things on the table. I feel that a lot of times somebody will address one issue and then there's still 12 others that are sitting there, which then cause conflict. What we do is focus on the big global package, and we do it 100%, so this way you're walking away with some consistency and something to follow.
I love it. So once again, we are in studio today with Janine Jaycox with Divorce and Business Mediation, an attorney. Oh, you're going to stick around, Alan, aren't you?
I guess I have to.
We are with attorney Alan Krystal. So stay tuned. We have a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.